Hi everybody, Coach Rebecca here from TRS Fit, and today I'm going to show you guys how to change a tire on a bike. This is an important thing to know how to do, and something that everybody should practice a few times before you go out on the road for a long ride, or especially before a race. You want to make sure that you are comfortable doing this and that you have the muscle memory so that you don't have to overthink it when you're out there on the road or on race day. So I'm going to show you guys on my tri-bike. So the first thing that we're going to do is disengage the brake. So look down on your bike to where the brake is. Find there's a little lever and you're just going to flip that. The next thing you're going to do, go over to your quick release, unscrew it, and you don't need to take it off completely. Just unscrew it enough that you can get the tire off the bike. And when you set your bike down, make sure you set it down on a non-chain side, and that'll help protect your components. So lay it down really carefully. So now that I've got the tire off of the bike, I'm going to find the valve stem here. I'm going to unscrew the tip. You'll see that there's a little tiny screw. It doesn't come off. Unscrew it and then push down. Okay, and that's all the air coming out of the tube. Until the air is out, take your tire lever, looks like this. You want to get it right under the tire. Use your thumb to push the lever, running it around the rim, and this is going to remove the tire off of the rim. Go back to the top. Take your tube out. Now, if you had gotten a flat, you're going to want to not use this again. And if something did cause the flat, you're going to want to really do a good job of inspecting inside this tire, all the way around the rim here. Just try to make sure that there's not a piece of glass or debris, anything that got underneath that caused the flat to happen. You want to make sure that's not still there. So you're going to use a different tube than the one that you had the flat. And to put the tube back in, give it a little air. That's just going to blow it up a little bit and make it easier for it to fit back on the rim of the tire. So find the hole, drop it in. And then all I'm doing here is just tucking that tube right back on. You want to make sure that the tube is laying flat. It isn't twisted. You don't want it to become pinched. Just be kind of careful here when you're putting this back on. And that's why when you put a little bit of air into it, it's going to help it to get in there the right way. Okay. Make sure that's nice and even. Looks good, feels good. You don't want it to be bulging out or getting pinched. So come to the top again, where this is, and then you're going to tuck that tire right underneath the rim. And what I'm doing here is working evenly down both sides. My thumbs. Just tucking it right in, right on the rim there. Now when you get to the bottom, it becomes a little more tricky. You're going to need to use a little bit more hand strength to get it on. And there you go. Now this looks good. I'm going to go ahead and inflate back to about 110, 120 psi. Make sure the valve is unscrewed. That back on there. most pumps will have a little indicator so you can see exactly when you're at the right PSI. And this is going to vary depending on the kind of bike that you're riding. So I'm going to get this to about 110, 120 maybe. Okay. Take it off. You want to make sure that's screwed back on. Okay, you don't see any bulges. Tire looks good. Now this is ready to go back on the bike. So, now you want to make sure that the quick release, the handle part of it, is on the left side. And you can also, sometimes on these wheels, there will be writing. So I want to make sure, and this says felt because that's the name of the bike, I want to make sure that when I'm riding and I look down that I can read that writing, that it's not backwards. So drop this right back on. Okay. There you go. Tighten up your quick release. And you want to make sure that this wheel is straight between the brakes. Pick it up, give it a spin, make sure it's not wobbling, and then you can go ahead and tighten that brake, re-engage that brake. Now, if this should happen on your back tire, you're going to do things a little bit differently. Same thing though with the front. Find the brake, disengage it, screw that quick release. Pick up the chain, just work it right off. Go ahead and fix this tire, and then you're just going to put it on the same way. Pick up the chain. Pop it right back on there. Put the bike back. Tighten up that quick release. Okay, again, you're going to want to give it a spin. Make sure it's not wobbling. Make sure you've got the tire on properly before you re-engage the brake. And you are set. One word about CO2 cartridges. This is something that's good to have, these guys, with you on a ride. And this is, instead of using a pump, you can use CO2 to inflate a tire. And it works basically, the CO2 cartridge gets screwed into this adapter, which you then put on the stem where you would put the tire pump. Give it a little bit of a turn or a push. The CO2 is going to inflate the tire. This gets cold in your hand, and that's, if it feels that way, that's normal. Don't worry about it. If you're using a 16-gram cartridge, it's going to inflate the tire to about 100 psi, so you don't need to worry about overinflating when you're using the CO2. That's it. If you guys have any questions, contact us at prsfit.com. And as always, be healthy, train smart, and have fun.